Would you say you hate men?
No, I don't hate men, but I am disappointed in them.
Why?
Because they didn't choose her.
Because they're not stepping up to the plate. While we sat and grew and got our shit together, they sat on the couch and played their Sega Genesis.
What are you talking about?
They didn't try to grow. They didn't try to better themselves.
What?
And, we invented Oprah so we can get better.
Got it. We sat next to each other courtside at a
ma'am.
basketball.
Miss Leslie Jones, can you please bring your beautiful, ugly ass up to the front of the congregation? MTR needs to have several words with your ass now. This lovely young lady recently has been adorning these podcast streets, spouting a whole bag of bullshit that we must go over. If you are unfamiliar with Leslie Jones, you may remember her from a clip from several months ago where she proclaimed that I am the table. Y'all remember that?
What you bringing to the table? I am the table.
Sick of men telling me, oh, wait, you hardcore. Yes, I am.
Can you handle it?
What you bringing to the table? I am the table.
Well, she's back on these podcasts for another session of why toxic masculine women stay single. It's just sad to see because she's damn near 60 years old, continuing to cope, saying things such as marriage is like slavery. Now, if you're looking for an ardent defender of marriage on this platform, you will not find it here, okay? I think marriage is a tool, and you can be able to utilize tools within your life to get a means to an end, to get wherever it is that you're trying to go. But within the modern ideology, as well as the modern zeitgeist, many people are not walking around with marriage-minded material. And it's crazy because I think you should also marry before you carry. But nevertheless, the comparison, and especially from a black woman, of how modern marriage is like slavery is absolutely insane. Until you understand how she's speaking about this, she's not coming at marriage. She's coming at the character of men. And for that, I have a problem with. So that's why we're going to break down her delusional ass talking points. So sit back, relax. Let's get active on this one without further ado.
Do you have racial preferences when it comes to dating, or are you an equal opportunity barker?
Barker.
Yes, now I am.
But before, what was...
I think I had kind of turned a little blind eye to the black guys for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they were at the time, they were the group that I felt hated me the most, that I would get the most unlove from.
So you had
Who hurt you, Leslie Jones?
a penchant for light-skinned men.
Oh, I do like
Light-skinned.
me a light-skinned man.
Oh,
What?
still.
Still.
Got it. Like, and if what's a celebrity that comes to mind? Like Boris Kodjoe, or...
Boris is fine.
He's so hot.
He's very fine. What was the other one, though?
Michael Ealy,
Oh, he's fine, too.
Jesse
He is.
Williams,
He's fine,
Barack Obama.
He's fine, too.
It sounds like you just like men.
Yeah. That's it. Especially powerful men.
You like a powerful man.
I do.
So a dominant to your submissive.
Hey, submissive.
I'm not submissive.
Right.
Could you be a trad wife is what I'm asking.
What?
Trad wife meaning like I'd be at home and take
no.
Like making Oreos from scratch.
I don't absolutely not.
Why not?
You know
Because
she like
that's
an
not who
Oreo.
the I am, and my daddy didn't raise me like that.
To be a trad wife.
To be anybody's wife.
Okay.
My dad used to literally say that to me. I didn't raise you to be somebody's wife.
Well, then your dad fucked you up. Sorry to say. Dad, feminism, the media, the government, and now because of that, none of the men that are the apple of your eye would ever consider your toxic masculine ass.
That's so brave.
I don't know if it's brave or smart.
Wait, what?
I didn't raise you to be somebody's wife.
That's so brave.
That's so brave.
I don't know if it's brave
She
or
being
smart.
cheeky?
Most of the people that I know that's gotten married are divorced now.
Okay.
And so really that's an indictment of the institution.
Yeah. I think marriage is legalized slavery.
You do.
Yes, I do.
Say more, because if I'm thinking about slavery and I'm thinking about marriage, there are two different images that come
Absolutely
into my head.
not. I don't think, I don't know how you don't.
Oh, wow.
A man is, especially if he's expecting you to be a trad wife, you might as well pull out a whip
Wow.
and a chain.
Pause.
Wow.
Yo, listen. Shout out to the interview over here because she's like, motherfucker, I ain't about that shit. I'm going to do this podcast bullshit for a couple of years. Quick interruption to thank today's sponsor, Saley. Now, guys, I plan to do some very extensive traveling this year, and one thing that I cannot stand is when I touch down in a new place and I have no internet. I can't check directions. I can't call anybody. I can't pull up my reservation. And now I'm standing around the airport trying to figure out which airport kiosk is about to overcharge me for a brand new SIM card. And that's exactly why Saley makes sense. Saley is an eSIM app that offers affordable data plans in over 160 countries. So you download the app, you choose your plan, and you get set up even before you arrive. So when you land, you're already connected and already plugged in. No fumbling around, no SIM swapping, no nonsense. And it's beyond convenient not having to swap SIMs for each new country that you visit. Now, they also have 24/7 customer support, unlimited data options, regional plans for multi-country travel, and alerts when your data is getting low. So guys, if you have a trip that's coming up, go to saley.com/MTR and use code MTR at checkout and get an exclusive 15% discount on Saley data plans. So go right now. All right, back to the content. And I'm trying to find me a man, baby. Shut up. Get that spirit up off me. You heard? I'm trying to find a man. I want to live a soft life. I don't want to live this Leslie Jones toxic masculine. I am the table ass, hard as a mother type shit. She's like, man, get the fuck up. Don't you see my eyes is glittering right now? I'm a girl. All right.
So there are young people watching who might
Right.
be wanting to get married. What would you say to them?
Don't.
Okay.
Don't get married.
No.
Fair.
Okay.
From the
Oh, God. You are crazy.
How am I crazy?
You are crazy.
You're saying that marriage is a...
No, I don't
Look at-
believe in the marriage. No, I don't.
So you wouldn't get married?
No, and I don't think it's beneficial for a woman at all.
okay.
Y'all have COVID. Everybody in you brought
Okay.
COVID to me. I have to...
Just real quick, they switch subjects and they start talking about this COVID shit. They get into it a quick second, but let me address some of the points right here. We have an influential woman that is telling women not to get married because it is like slavery. And I find it interesting that it's a woman who is not married, who effectively is coping why she was never selected. And then instead of addressing the reasons why no one selected her ass, she then tells a new generation or a new crop of women to not consider it. But she does it in this ridiculous ass way, diluting the brutality of slavery while also propping up the impact of traditional marriage as if it shares similar types of brutality or terror that was inflicted on people is absolutely insane. And I know it wasn't just black people throughout our history that was enslaved, but black people have more of a sensitivity towards slavery. But they restructure the weight of things within their mind as a coping mechanism in order to help explain why they're clowns and goofies that no man ever wanted. She could be on a podcast speaking about the positivity within union, but instead she's utilizing podcasts for her damn therapy sessions.
Would you say you hate men?
No, I don't hate men, but I am disappointed in them.
Why?
Because
They didn't choose her.
they're not stepping up to the plate. While we sat and grew and got our shit together, they
What?
sat on the couch and played their Sega Genesis.
What are you talking about?
They didn't try to grow. They didn't try to better themselves.
What?
And, we invented Oprah so we can get better.
Got it. We sat next to each other courtside
Yes,
at a
ma'am.
basketball game where you were given
Okay. Rich, successful, popular, but not happy. She's going to admit she's not marriageable material as instructed by her father, yet also complain that men are not stepping up. You never stepped up to being a selectable or a marriageable woman, yet it's now men's fault that you act the way that you do? How do you scream from the mountaintops with the bass from the diaphragm in your masculine ass voice that I am the table, nigga? Yeah, and you admit that you was never marriageable material because you chose this lifestyle, Leslie. You chose to do it for you, baby. You chose the success. You chose the success over making yourself selectable. Ooh, and it just eats you up each night that The tears soak your pillow because you're by yourself. Now, at the tender damn age of 60 years old, you're comparing marriage to slavery for your cope while fawning over the Michael Ealy's disgusting work. Now, I want to continue on putting this idea of marriage and slavery up on a pedestal to continue within this conversation the best way we know how. Let's see what AI has to say about it.
AI, can you explain how marriage is slavery and do it in a way that would make our feminist ancestors proud?
All right.
To make your feminist ancestors proud is a correct... That means this is going to be full of lies, right? Let's go.
Here's the cut to the bone version your feminist ancestors would stand up and cheer for.
Let's get it.
Marriage, as it was designed, was state-approved slavery for women.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
Okay.
Legal ownership.
Okay.
The moment a woman married, she stopped existing as her own legal person. Under coverture, everything she owned, earned, or inherited belonged to her husband.
Okay.
Her body was legally his to use. Consent didn't even exist inside marriage.
Okay.
No escape. Divorce laws were written to keep her trapped. For centuries, she could be abandoned, beaten, or exploited and still have no legal way out. And if she left anyway, she could lose her children, her home, and her social standing overnight. Unpaid labor on demand. She cooked, cleaned, raised children, managed the household, and provided sex, all for free. Society called it wifely duty, but it was unpaid, unchosen labor extracted under threat of survival loss. The protection lie. Just like enslavers claimed to care for the enslaved, men and the state claimed marriage protected women. In reality, it removed her rights and protections, placing her under the control of a single man with near total authority.
This is so insane.
Punishment for disobedience. In many places, it was perfectly legal for a husband to beat his wife. Disobedience could be punished physically, financially, or by institutionalizing her. Ceremonial transfer of ownership. The father giving away the bride wasn't sweet tradition. It was a property transfer from one male owner to another, complete with symbolic branding, the ring.
Okay.
Bottom line. Marriage was bondage wrapped in lace, sold as devotion, and enforced by law.
Wow.
The fact that love sometimes bloomed inside it doesn't erase that its very blueprint was built on women's subjugation. They'll tell you marriage is different now, but the old code is still running under a prettier interface. Women still do the majority of unpaid domestic and emotional labor, even when they work full time. Divorce still leaves women, especially mothers, more likely to end up in poverty.
Oh my God.
Social pressure still frames marriage as her highest achievement and being single as her failure. The wedding still stages the giving away of the bride, the ring still brands her as taken, and her last name often gets replaced with his. The blueprint hasn't changed, the language has. Modern marriage may look freer, but it still runs on the same patriarchal operating system.
That is crazy.
Her labor, his legacy.
Whoa.
AI.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie. AI killed the task of making the feminist ancestors proud. I mean, I feel like if there was a feminist handbook, all of that would be written in the marriage section. And the words would accomplish exactly what it's trying to do, which is to demonstrate a past history, whether it is true, accurate, or represented most marriages at that time, but presenting in its comparison to slavery and then trying to liken it to what happens today. See, none of us were alive in the past that AI is talking about. Now, I will say that if you believe the revisionist history of what AI is saying, right? Because again, we have not lived in the past, but we live here today. And within today, even though AI is making a comparison to it's like slavery, we know damn sure today it is not like slavery. So if it's lying about today, how do we know that it's not lying about the past? I mean, even in the past, it's acting as if there wasn't decisions here, right? Like women were forced with no consent to enter a marriage, right? They were captured, right? Their children were forced to be born, and the children were now within this marriage or this family, and they're just doing labor, or like the women were like purchased or something like that, right? Like as opposed to there being some type of social consent from both parties where they were able to make a meaningful choice to step forward. And it also is making it seem like there's not a mutual obligation here, as if there wasn't wifely duties and at the same time there wasn't husband duties at the exact same damn time, as if husbands didn't have a duty to provide, to protect, to support, to provision, and that inherently marriage in and itself was an uneven or an unequal exchange. They act like there was no love, no care, no respect, no loyalty, and they just, come here, bash over head with a club. She comes back to your lair. Do work now. And these women will walk around, lips bloodies, eye hanging out for the majority of the relationship down to the market to go get some food for the family and shit like that. But guess what? That was in fact slavery. The collapsing or the minimizing of what slavery was is so damaging. It's tough to even put into words. But the rhetoric and these talking points don't just stop at AI.
A loss of freedom. I'm all about freedom, and marriage takes all of it away. And if you want to be, I look at marriage as slavery. I don't believe in living. I don't believe in living for other people. I believe in happiness, and you can start a business with a partner. You don't have to get married and tie your life to them. So with you, I agree with you. If you were to live with a companion or have a life partner, I'm in total agreement not to get the government involved, because once you outgrow somebody, you should be able to break free and go your separate ways. Why do you have to go through hoops and hurdles to break away from somebody? Because that's slavery. Shackle and chains, that's slavery. So marriage, I'm totally against it.
Okay, whatever, stud maker. I also find it interesting that you will only find women that describe it as slavery, but you will never find men. By the way, men, majority of the time, are the breadwinners. They're never describing it as slavery. Isn't that interesting? And that's through the feminist engine have convinced matrix-minded, lemon-minded young women that they are being oppressed by the men. Therefore, through your oppression, what's the synonym? Slavery. You know, feminism has done a number when considering more womanly focused duties as being slavery or slave labor. You know that it's already won, baby.
Marriage is 100% free slave service. Ladies, please listen. If you're engaged to a man, you need to have this conversation. Okay. Who's going to do the housework?
Sure.
And if he says, well, I'll go to work while you stay home and clean the house. So he's going to go build his career. It's like he has an investment that's going to build. And you what? You get to clean the house?
But you're married. Everything that y'all own within the marriage, even with a prenup, is both of you. Yo, these chicks.
Your name better be on that house. You better not have any weird prenups. But you should be paid for your time, because maid service...
These hoes are stupid.
It's not free. You got to pay somebody to do maid service.
Okay.
So he can actually pay for somebody to do maid service in your house so you can also build your career, or you can split the household chores evenly. What's up with men expecting us to be free maid service?
What?
Free childcare service. You need to sit down and calculate the hours that you put into the house and the children and make sure that he has the same hours on his timesheet too. Because this is work. And it shouldn't be given freely because you're a woman. You can get your own bank account now, ladies. You can get your own credit card. You can buy your own home. Men need to step up and offer something more than love and romance.
Yeah, all right. I can get a maid service for a couple of $100s per month. Is that your argument? A couple of $100s per month? The balance of responsibilities dependent upon the hours that are being worked here is just something that obviously needs to be talked about. If he's doing 40 to 50 hours per week and you're doing 40 to 50 hours per week, there's going to need to be some types of shared responsibility. And if y'all got it like that, y'all could put in on someone to help around the house. But what you find out is that these women just don't like the man. Because you could work 100% of the time and I'll stay back in the crib. I'll take care of the house. You know how easy of a job that would be? Like they make it seem like it's like so incredibly difficult and or hard. Like, just stop the madness. And what's crazy about this is that the marriage contract in itself, especially if you don't get a prenup, is actually more detrimental to men than it is to women, outside of what that AI tried to tell y'all. Meanwhile, women like this will act like it's more detrimental to them while actively participating in slave labor. Meanwhile, they're the ones who initiate divorce more often than not.
Why would any rational, disciplined man sign a contract where the other party can break it whenever they feel like and still legally take half of your life's work. That's not love. That's insanity. That's crazy. Because in the United States, 40 to 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So that's not rare. That's a coin flip. And here's the part that young men need to choke on. Nearly 70% of all divorces are initiated by women. Think about that. Most men aren't walking away. They're being removed from the deal. And when that happens, the government doesn't ask any questions. It doesn't investigate effort. It doesn't audit behavior.
You're a
it
math
just
equation.
says, cool, split it.
Yeah.
Half the house, half the equity, half your retirement. Sometimes your future earnings. Sometimes limiting access to your own kids. All because you signed a piece of paper that assumed that everybody in the relationship would behave forever. That's crazy. That's insane. Marriage is the only contract on planet Earth where the person who breaks it can be rewarded more than the person who upheld it. Quit a job, you don't get a paycheck. Breach a business deal, you get sued. You walk away from an investment, you eat the loss. But marriage, you can leave and still send the man the bill. Now, I already hear outrage forming in the minds of women. What if he stopped doing what he did in the beginning? What if he cheated? What if he emotionally checked out? Cool, but let's stop pretending this is a one-sided fairy tale.
Yeah.
It takes two people to tango. Let me ask you a question. What did you do to make him stop wanting to you? When did sex turn into a weapon instead of connection? When did respect turn into constant nagging? When did you become entitled? When did he go from being your man to being behind the kids, the dogs, your phone, your stress, your crazy moods? When did you stop serving this relationship and just think you're just going to kick back and collect all the benefits? When he quietly became the provider, the protector, the fixer, the emotional punching bag, the walking ATM, well, you brought nothing but expectations and complaints. And then you wonder why it failed. No man wakes up one day and says, I think I'm going to blow up my family today. They drift after being ignored. They disengage after being disrespected. They shut down after being treated like a utility instead of a man. And instead of self-reflection, the story's always the same. I wasn't happy. I deserved more. I outgrew him. Funny how personal accountability evaporates right when the system rewards an exit. And that's the real issue. The system doesn't care who stopped showing up.
Yeah,
it doesn't care who withdrew the intimacy. It doesn't care who poisoned the household. It just redistributes assets and moves the on.
It's a math
That's
equation.
not partnership. That's legal roulette. So read your contract, understand the incentives, and stop confusing tradition with intelligence. Because if it's a bad deal on paper, it's a bad deal in real life. And men are finally waking the up and asking the only question that matters. Why in the would I ever sign that?
There are married women right now that listen to Leslie Jones compare marriage to slavery and got a dumbass idea in their head that that's what they're currently living through within their marriage, because it focuses on blaming others as opposed to assessment of oneself. And undoubtedly, because that's the truth, because that's the reality, marriages will end. More women, the 70% of the one that initiate divorce are going to be influenced by a Leslie Jones. And that's why we got to keep on doing the content, because there's so much bullshit out there that are informing people in the incorrect way. All right, guys, let me know what you think down up in the comment boxes where you should leave your comment. And I'll be down up there having conversations with y'all. But I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. It's just crazy thinking about this comparison of slavery, right? And marriage in itself has changed so much over the last, 100 years or so through legal reform. I mean, they even allow same-sex marriages now, right? They weren't allowing that back in the time that AI was talking all that shit, and that women like Leslie Jones still utilize it is just absolutely insane. But nevertheless, comment section down below. Let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, or if you think that I missed something within there. Can't wait to read y'all comments. But I love y'all. Stay safe, stay protected, and I will see y'all soon. Peace.
You is ratchet as they come. Rainbow weaves and batwing lashes, weighing more than a man. What time is your football practice? I bet you can hit that A gift like a mug. How you big back and said a man must buy you gifts. Where here goes a Fitbit tracker? Are you mad?